Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Nick and Nolan Experience Sports Talk Show. We had a wild night of fights this past Saturday, and some more interesting developments in the world of sports are starting to emerge from the UFC, as well as from the NFL and the MLB. All that and more coming up here soon, but first let's start with what was another great night of fights this past Saturday.
That card was a quick card, man.
There was a lot of stoppages. It was surprising. For his kind of the undercard wasn't all that exciting, matchup wise, but there were some great fights in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was kind of that same kind of thing that we got coming up this weekend with kind of a little couple names in the card, but they end up being good fights. So you never know with kind of cards like this.
It started with Evan Dunham versus Herbert Burns at catchweight, and Herbert got the submission in the first round.
Herbert showed up. That was impressive. I think
it
Dunham
looked like
said he wants to just keep going though. He just wants to keep fighting.
Well, he took that fight in 2 days' notice.
Yeah. So, I mean, still, Herbert Burns is a problem. He's going to be moving up.
He got hurt at the end of the fight. Did you see he was limping?
Yeah.
He said his foot got caught in the cage or something.
Yeah, it's happened a few times. I think I want to say it happened with Jake Ellenberger. They actually had to stop the fight because his foot got caught. And it's really rare, but it happens, and it kind of just it'll roll your ankle, or I guess depending on where your foot goes in, break a toe or something.
He didn't even get that rear naked all the way. He got right underneath his mouth, in his chin area, and it just
it's
cranked.
kind of just a face crank type thing. Same thing with Khabib and Conor, and we've seen a few other ones. It still hurts when you're getting squeezed on your chin like that. It feels like your chin's going to go through your face. It's terrible.
What do you think's next for Herbert?
I don't necessarily know top 15 yet, but somebody close. For sure. That was impressive as it was going to get, really, for a guy like Evan Dunham. Yeah, I mean, he came out of retirement and he's a little older, but he's got all that experience, and Evan Dunham is still a major problem. So for Herbert to just go out and do that in the first round, that was impressive.
He got a win in the featherweight division at Fight Night 166 against Nate Landwehr. He fought a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on how they want to do it. He's not that big of a name. Obviously Gilbert Burns was there, and Gilbert's blowing up. So maybe somebody big, maybe number 15, if that. But I think he's got to show that he belongs up there a little bit. Evan Dunham's a great fighter, but with how all those divisions are now, with how 45, 55, all that stuff is, those are the biggest, the toughest divisions in the UFC right now.
Yeah, and he also fought Evan Dunham, who hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah, he's still been. I'm sure he's still been training though, and experience it kicks in right away. I think once you're in there, it's for some guys. I think it's kind of like you never really left. Then we see ring rust with some guys, and kind of went too fast to kind of know, what side Evan was on. But
sometimes
good,
for fighters like that, for him being gone too long, some fighters take a while, maybe a first round they'll feel the opponent out, and then second, third round. But Herbert said we're not going to do that, and he ended that early.
Yeah, took advantage of it. That might have been part of the game plan too. He's been out for a while, so let's just go at him right away and kind of force him to not be able to feel it out, and just force him to get right back in there and see if he's ready or not. It's kind of the same thing with Dominic Cruz. He kind of had that kind of feeling out process with Cejudo. I don't think that was the best fight for him to come back to, but
I agree.
But yeah, it's tough when you're away for that long and you fight a guy like Herbert Burns who's hungry and wants to go. He tweeted, I think today, that that he wants more, like as soon as possible.
I think a
Um,
lot of these fighters are going to be wanting more, just because all the big names are getting they're not fighting because of money issues, or the big names live in different countries and can't travel. So all these guys are just like, shoot, we'll make a name for ourselves, and you know what I mean?
yeah, like Dana was saying, there's never been more eyes on the sport than now because it's the only sport that's going
Hmm.
other than like WWE and whatever other boxing and stuff. But
NASCAR.
yeah, but it's the only sport that's really hardcore, like going back on schedule and everything.
And we had a light heavyweight matchup with Devin Clark and Alonzo Menifield.
That was surprising how quick they gassed.
Yeah, Alonzo tagged Devin in the first round.
It almost seemed like he broke his jaw when he hit him. Like you could hear it.
Hmm.
And then his mouth was, he obviously started bleeding out of his mouth. And his mouth was kind of weird. He started breathing out of his mouth, so you couldn't really tell if he was just that gassed or, if he really did break his jaw. But Devin looked great late in the fight.
He took advantage. He knew Alonzo's gas tank wasn't going to be the greatest, and he took advantage of it.
It's just all that muscle that Alonso's got to carry around. He's a ginormous person.
Hmm.
Like he's gonna wear out. Like when he fought Gerald Meerschaert, he was gassed in that fight too. Like, and then he caught him with it because Gerald was trying like for the finish.
But that fight was a good fight for Devin.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso looked. He had a lot of momentum coming off of that Meerschaert fight, so kind of put a stop to the hype train before it really got going, I guess.
Hmm.
And we had Alex Perez and Juicy Formiga. That was nasty. Those leg kicks. Oh my
I
god.
know, man. That's the second uh, leg stoppage in back-to-back weeks.
For his leg to be that bad that quick though, like that was insane. He looked like he had just gotten a kick for like 5 rounds.
Wasn't it right on the shin too, or right underneath the kneecap?
Yeah, it was right. It was calf kicks, so it's like right behind his knee.
It was behind his knee. I thought he hit him right in the front of his knee.
Yeah, he had it. He had it all bruised. Like the side of his knee and like to the back was all like swollen up and everything. And then he kind of tried to switch, like the one we saw last week or the week before. He like switched, I think, and then he kicked it again, and that was it. So
Do you think
it was
Do you
just,
think that made Alex Perez in the top 10 maybe?
oh my god,
Or
yeah. He was already top 10. I think
oh yeah, that's right. That's right. My fault.
it
You
puts
think
him
that moved?
top 5 for sure because I think
Yeah, that's
Formiga was 3 or 4. So yeah, that absolutely. I think Formiga was 4. So that absolutely puts Perez up there. And he said he wants to be the replacement for Benavidez and what's his name, Figueiredo.
I mean, he deserved it. I mean, that's a big win.
Yeah, for putting Formiga out like that with leg kicks, that's huge. And I mean, Brandon Moreno's there, and he's always down for short notice fights. But if he's not ready to go, like if he's stuck in Mexico and they end up doing that fight here, that Perez could absolutely give either one of those guys problems. He could give Benavidez problems and Figueiredo. It's kind of the same. He's got kind of the same style as Formiga. So it's, if he could implement those leg kicks like that, or even his striking, or even his ground game, he could pose problems for both of them. And then we had Charles Bird and Maki Pitolo. I really thought Charles Bird was going to come out in that fight.
Yeah. Oh, like, wasn't Bird win? Would you say Bird was winning that first round?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was
It was
close.
close.
It was hard to judge for sure. But Maki looked so good though.
Do you
That
think
that was surprising.
Do you think Maki's gonna maybe do something in that middleweight division? I'm not saying he's gonna be like an Izzy Adesanya, of course, but like, you think he can maybe
He
move up
can
in the ranking?
he could get up there. I think it'll take a little bit still, but he could get up there if he keeps getting better. He could be. I don't really think you give him like Derek Brunson right now, but if you could get, I don't even think really Heinisch would be a good matchup for him, but somebody up there, maybe Deron Wynn, something like that.
You think? Would you consider Brunson as like the gatekeeper for middleweight?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I was
Because
about to say the same thing.
yeah, that's the definition of it. Like when he fought Heinisch, that was kind of Heinisch was on a roll, and they were like, "All right, let's see." But when you think about who Derek Brunson's fought, he's fought everyone that's been at the top of the middleweight division. He's fought Silva, he fought Whitaker, he fought Izzy. It never ends. So he's fought the best. They were saying it when he fought Izzy. He's been in there with the best. He hasn't beat the best, but he's been in there with them. Like he fought Machida too, didn't he? Like later in his career, and kind of like used that as, I just beat one of the greatest fighters ever. It's like, no, not really.
Yeah, an aging fighter.
Yeah, and he had a close fight apparently with Anderson Silva. I thought Anderson clearly won that one, but
Yeah, he's fought Jacare.
yeah, Jacare too. But
And
yeah,
he
he's
lost.
fought the best guys. So yeah, he is the gatekeeper, and if you're good, you burst through him like Izzy did, and then you get to the top. So
Yeah, he's fought Uriah Hall. He beat him when Uriah. I think that's when Uriah was getting that hype train.
yeah, he came off the Ultimate Fighter with just a huge I even I'm not even gonna lie, when I was watching the Ultimate Fighter when he was on there, I was thinking Anderson Silva's in trouble. Like
Yeah, I think everyone was.
yeah, he was so I think Dana even said it. He's like, Dana and Chael Sonnen were saying it, like, you're a contender. And Chael was in that division saying that
Mhm.
you're going to be a problem for Anderson Silva.
I think it was after what was that spinning heel kick?
Yeah, the one where he made that guy forget like his entire life. That was unreal. He forgot he had a girlfriend and everything.
Dang, man.
Like
I didn't know that. I didn't know he made him forget his life.
it really, yeah. They were like, he knew right when he woke up. They were like, "Do you know where you are?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Who's that?" And he said, "That's Uriah." But he was later on, he was in the house and everything, and he didn't know really who anyone was. He forgot who his girlfriend was. It's like,
Gee.
dude, you got spin kicked and literally forgot everything. And then Uriah beat what's that, Bubba something, the guy, John Jones's guy. He couldn't
Oh
move after. The guy, he was laying face down. He was telling Herb Dean, like, "Yeah, I'm good. I just can't move. It's like my eye hurts. I don't know what's going on." He literally he made the dude. He was awake, but he couldn't move his body. That's insane. And then kind of just fell off. He fought guys like Brunson and Paulo Costa, and they kind of just threw him in there thinking he was going to be a world beater.
They
Um,
they regret that one.
yeah, I mean, you never know till it happens, though. You
He
think
did
these
have
guys are just going to blow through everyone, and then it's like, oh, well, you're just not ready yet.
he did have the potential.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cody Stamann, Brian Kelleher. I'm glad that went the way it went. Nobody got stopped. Cody won.
Yeah, I was happy too. I mean, we both had Keller win, but that's just because
He
we
looked
didn't know
so good.
where Stamen was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mentally.
and just Brian just looked so good a couple weeks ago. To knock out the guy that I forget the guy's name, but to knock out that guy, that's saying something. And Cody's a big name too. He's coming up, but yeah, I'm glad that went the way it went
Oh,
after
are you
losing
talking?
his brother like that.
Are you talking about Hunter Azure?
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, after losing your 18-year-old brother just out of nowhere like that, like 3 days before the fight, that's saying something. Especially like we said in the last episode, we're gonna see what kind of person Cody is. And he showed up. He fought back the tears and everything, and kind of got him overwhelmed when when he finished, and then when he was doing the interview with Joe. But it was good to see. He came out on top, beat a big name, Brian Kelleher, and kind of propelled himself into. Obviously, he's going to take some time off, but propelled himself into the top, maybe top 15 or close to it after
Well,
another fight.
he usually fights bantamweight.
Yeah, yeah. It's just how he's gonna see like how the weight's gonna be and what he wants to do next. If he felt good, at that weight, then it's gonna be it could be interesting. I don't think he's not top 5, top 10 talent, but that the top 15 or so could be fun for him.
Definitely could be. Definitely could be.
And Ian Heinisch, what's up? That was awesome.
I bet you got excited when you saw that happening, huh?
Oh my God, that was awesome. I've always loved Ian, and just I didn't expect it to happen that quickly or that good, but oh my God, that was awesome.
Like I messaged you on Saturday, change of scenery, training with in Thailand, that's gonna help him.
Oh my God, everyone, like really everyone that you see come out of Thailand, like if they're a high level fighter, even if they're not, like what's the guy's name? Oh, I can't think of his name. He fought Johnny Walker. Johnny knocked him out with the elbow. Damn, I can't think of his name.
Oh.
But he went to like he was like a decent fighter, kind of like gatekeeper type thing, and then he went to Thailand and just looked like ridiculous, and then he got knocked out again. But like in that first fight after he went to Thailand, he's a completely different fighter. Like those guys that train it, like that Tiger Muay Thai, like even Valentina, she's got that kind of like Muay Thai thing. Like Joanna kind of does too. It's insane. Like what that does to you.
He looked scary, man, and I'm glad to see, because I like Ian Heinisch too. So
yeah, Khalil Roundtree, that's his name. I don't know why that just totally left my head, but yeah, Khalil Roundtree. When he was there, he looked ridiculous. But again, like Jared Mearshart, he's huge for like it's a big name for middleweight to beat. He's another kind of like I feel like Gerald's one gatekeeper and then Brunson's kind of like the next level gatekeeper.
mm-hmm.
But
did the rankings come out today?
I haven't checked, but Heinisch he should move up. For that impressive a performance, like when he did that overhand, I was like, oh my God. Let me check while we're talking here. Heinisch is 13 as of now.
Because he was 13 on Saturday, so
Yeah.
I think they come out tomorrow.
But
So,
yeah,
I mean,
that division is, oh my God, that division's so crazy.
who do you think he fights next? Do you think because I mean he can fight soon if he wanted to.
Uriah Hall?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too, to be honest with you, because Uriah he hasn't since the Jacare situation. He hasn't really fought, so.
Yeah, Uriah could be interesting. I guess Brad Tavares could be interesting.
Do you think any possibility he fights a Brunson again?
Maybe down the road. I don't think right now. Maybe after another fight or two. I think Shabazian's going to start really blowing up that division pretty soon. I don't really know who Shabazian will fight. There's not many because Jack and Kelvin are fighting.
That's gonna be a good fight, man.
I mean, has Edmund fought Derek yet? Why do I feel like he has? I don't know. Maybe that'll be. I swear that fight's happened already. But other than that, you got Till, who's fighting Whitaker. Romero. Shabazian versus Romero that could go one or like that could go really good or really bad. And then Cannonier is up there, but I don't know if they would let Shabazian fight Cannonier right now. Because I think Cannonier is kind of going to be the backup if Izzy and Costa fight. I mean, I guess they could schedule that fight if they really want to rush Shabazian in there. Because he's still, 21, 22?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That middleweight division's every division really besides light heavy, even light heavy is not terrible. I mean, compared to John Jones, it's bad. But like other than light heavy and heavyweight, for men's divisions at least, all the divisions are so stacked. There's just no, we'll get to the women in a second. There's nobody. Chase Hooper, Alex Caceres, that was a big letdown.
It was, but I mean, I don't know. I was kind of mad how they, like, we know Chase Hooper's weakness was striking, and
He looked
Bruce
better
Leroy,
though.
Bruce Leroy, he has that karate style striking. So, I
Yeah.
mean, he Alex Caceres has fought like some big names too. So,
Oh yeah, he's been
I
up
mean,
there.
it was a tough test for Hooper. I think he needs. I saw Askren tweet out saying Junior needs to visit me for some wrestling for like help on wrestling, and I think that would help him because I mean he couldn't even take Caceres down, man.
Yeah, that's just that one-dimensional kind of fighting style again, like we've seen, with Ronda and a bunch of other guys, or even like not necessarily ground fighting, but like Machida when he had that karate style. As soon as Shogun took him down, he was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then that was it.
Hmm.
Like you
Well,
can't be one-dimensional now.
he tried pulling guard.
He was doing it constantly. It's like, oh, it's not working. Alex is getting it. Like he knows how to fight on the ground.
Hmm.
Yeah, Kron Gracie tapped him, but that's a Gracie.
Yeah,
You're a 20-year-old dude who's very good at jiu-jitsu, but you're not you're
you're
not
not
Kron
Gracie.
Gracie. Yeah, no. But yeah, Chase, he's still young. He's 20 years old. He's got plenty of time to. His striking looked better when he fought Tamer. He looked awful striking,
Hmm.
but he hung in there with Alex striking. Not he was like the first round. I was like, oh, he's gonna get knocked out. But his chin wasn't bad, and he looked decent for striking, like improvement wise. But yeah, Alex was just too much for him. But even now, Alex is what 14-12, I think.
He's 16 and 12.
16, yeah. That's still though. You're kind of on the verge. Like it's kind of another matchup where like how they're doing Mike Perry and Mickey Gall. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
if you lose another one, you're done. Like that's we gave you Chase Hooper kind of to see if you were really done, but like you got to kind of prove yourself now.
Uh, I could see Hooper maybe take a year off, focus on wrestling, focusing on striking. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu game's there, and maybe come back and we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
see if that
just
was.
it
I don't
depends
think
on
it
what he
blew off the.
wants.
I don't
Huh?
think it blew off the hype,
No,
but
if he would have gotten knocked out, then yeah.
I wouldn't even say that. It like just the comparison between the two. Like that's what I mean. Like DC was saying that on Saturday. Like Alex Caceres has fought some good guys. Yeah, he's lost, but he's still been in the ring with them, and going against a guy like that, it's going to be hard for Hooper, especially at that young age.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
kind of
crazy.
just tested him. Like he's 9-0, so it's kind of like, yeah, let's see if you're ready yet. Because they gave him Tamer, and Tamer's another big name. Like he's not a pushover at all.
Hmm. I don't know. I think we see Hooper maybe fight early 21, maybe like 2021, and see how he's been, like what he's been working on. Because I think he needs a lot of work, dude,
Yeah,
especially especially at that featherweight division.
yeah, he needs a different. Even if he did go to Milwaukee, that'd be huge with Rufus.
Hmm.
Like that could be a huge career turnaround for him.
He obviously has that jujitsu his number one thing. So working in that wrestling, that's gonna be scary, man.
Yeah, especially working with Askren and all the guys up there, and then he gets more striking stuff. You can't forget you got Showtime Pettis up there too for striking.
Hmm.
So and Rufus is one of the best striking coaches in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Take 8 9 months to a year to focus and work on some stuff. You're 20. You got the potential still. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, he's nowhere near his prime right now either. His prime might not come till he's 30 something, like early
and
30s, late 20s. But who knows if he'll still be around by then? But
And to the main card, man,
Oh,
starting with Eddie Wineland and Sugar Show, baby. That
oh my
was
god.
that was crazy, man.
I was calling it like right when he threw that spinning side like that spinning body kick. I called it right away. Like everyone was sitting around watching, and I was like, Eddie's hurt to his body because you saw him grab it first, and then
Hmm.
he tucked his elbow in like right by his liver to where like he
And
kind of disguised it like, oh, this is just where my hand's gonna be, but it's like no, that's what guys do when you're hurt to the liver and you try to protect it.
and then he kind of faked the uppercut, and
It was so fast. He just faked the uppercut. Eddie's hands dropped, and boom, it was straight right to the jaw. That was
and
perfect.
my dad was like, "What happened?" Like what? Like he was like, "What?" Like it was crazy.
Yeah, for Sean to get a walk off like that, it was
Oh man,
so good for
that's
his
like,
career.
dude, that like that punch just I don't know, that was crazy. And how he walked off, like that's like Steph Curry shooting a three and then just turning around before the ball even goes into the basket. And you know what I'm saying? That's how that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it's just that there's only certain like Mark Hunt stuff like Mark Hunt and Ganu, Rumble. There's only a few guys that can just sleep people like that and just know like yeah, you're not getting up from that.
And Eddie Wineland's he
I was seriously nervous going into that fight. Like I don't like I was totally fine about it. And then right when they got in and they were about to start, I told like my dad and my uncle, I was like, I'm nervous for this. Like, because I don't know if Eddie's really gonna show up. And what if he knocks Sean out? Like, or if he hurts Sean and Sean just freaks out, like, because he's never really been hurt before.
hmm
Like, it's gonna be a weird thing because I think Sean has kind of like that weird piece where he feels unbeatable and just I'm the best striker in the UFC. That knockout was worth 100 G's instead of 50 G's. I want a main event next. It's like, yeah, you like, you know,
yeah,
that
he's not
division
even ranked
stacked.
yet.
No, that
You,
division is stacked. Like, oh, and then like, we'll get to who he could possibly fight in a few minutes, but oh my god, that division is so like it's so dangerous.
you got Marlon Vera at 15, Sonya Dawn 14, Dodson,
But
Cody Stamen,
in the
Crude.
co-main, you had we'll get oh my god, hold on.
Exactly.
We'll get to that in a second.
But like, and then you Aljamain, you Jan Sanhagen.
Yeah. Um
It's
First let's get through Magny. I mean, after such a good fight and O'Malley, that was kind of like a kind of simmer back down type thing. But
well, I didn't think one of the judges gave it 30-27. I like Neil Magny because he has such a high motor, dude. It's insane, but he doesn't explode. And I
yeah.
remember DC and Rogan both saying that in the fight. Like he's touching him, but like he like in that third round, Rocco was exhausted, dude. And I really truly think that was a 10-8 round.
Yeah, I didn't know really about 30-27. Um if they did give him 10-8, then like maybe 29-27. But yeah, that it's for Magny to be. I don't think Rocco should have been on the main card at all. That fight, if at all, that fight should have been the first fight on the main card, if not a prelim.
I would rather saw Perez fight on the main card.
Yeah,
You said that in the last pod too. Like this could have been uh main card, possibly the other prelim, like not the early, but the actual prelim.
yeah. For that to be the third fight on the card, that was for as high of a rank they are. I get it; they're 125, but for that to be that high rank of a fight, and then you put Neil Magny and Rocco Martin on the main card, like that's like
Hmm.
Magny's a big name, and yeah, he's been up there, but Rocco hasn't really beaten anyone all that impressive, and he hasn't really sold himself that much, and he hasn't really been able to because he's not, you know, he's not a
Well,
like a world beater like that. But
isn't that wasn't that Magny's 16th win in the welterweight division?
Yeah, something like that. He's up there with like the
G-
most ever.
yeah, with GSP. It's crazy,
He's been around a long time. He
but
he's always down to fight too. Like he's short notice or just whenever. He's always down to go in.
do you think that maybe bursted him into the top 15?
Uh, I we talk about the top 15 all the time. Like you gotta know who's in the top 15. Like
Yeah.
you got well, Connor's number 15. He retired. We'll get to that in a second. But you got Pettis at 14, Luque at 13, Robbie at 12, and Jeff Neal at 11. You got Nate Diaz at 10. So you got to think, will Neil Magny beat any of them?
Well, I can see him fight maybe a Luque, but I don't think he might. I don't know. I think Luque might get that, but because I mean he has some like he presses a lot too. Oh, and he also was his last fight. He was basically getting stuck to the cage pretty much, and he was like, "All right, well, you can press me. I'm still gonna kick your ass." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the top 15 is just it's too good. Neil's been there, but I don't think he beats anyone in there. I don't know who they'll put at 15 now that Connor is apparently retired.
Maybe they put him at 15. Just
Yeah, maybe because there's I'd have to see the top, who the top really 20 is.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, he's not going to beat anyone in the top 14 right now, I don't think. I don't even think he'd really stand that much of a chance against Pettis.
The third fight on the card, man.
Oh, that was surprising. Like everyone that was here, we had a party at my house. Like everyone that was here was saying that kind of knew about fighting. Like um, they were saying Sandhagen was going to win. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, like no doubt Sandhagen was going to win." Like he just beats everyone. I was like, he's not like that's not for sure. You got to realize who he's fighting.
And like you said, you before when Sandhagen was walking out, you messaged me and you're like, "Dude, he looks nervous."
Yeah,
And I
he
was
didn't
like,
look too sure
"Yeah."
of himself at all.
And I was like, "Holy crap, he does, man."
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
taking like deep breaths. He didn't really look like he wanted to be there all that much. And I mean, we both had him winning by decision. I honestly thought if Aldo didn't really show up that much, I thought Corey would take it by decision. But he showed up in a huge way. And I was telling my cousin, like I was texting back and forth with my cousin and everything, and just get Aldo out of here. Like I know that fight's done, but stop. Like
Yeah.
that's after a fight like that, like sleeping Corey Sandhagen, like with putting him to sleep with a choke that quick, like you have to do Peter Yan and
Hmm.
Aljamain Sterling. Aldo technically lost his last fight. I thought he won, but with a performance like that, Dana said the fight's already done, so whatever. But
I mean, maybe
like, oh,
definitely you put Alja at the if like Aldo can't fight, that
oh my
like
God, yeah,
you know what I mean, like have him as basically next man up. Because that I actually would rather watch that than Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo.
yeah. Jan tweeted too, like at Sterling, he's still like, "Oh, good fight," and Sterling was like, "Yeah, I'll see you soon." Um,
Like
but yeah,
he said I'm coming on that ass. I was like,
yeah.
what man?
Pause after.
Yeah, that was funny, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a trying to trash talk. Um, but yeah, Sterling is a monster. He looked so good. His entire corner needs a haircut. Did you see Quinta?
Yeah,
Oh my God, his hair looked ridiculous.
just
But
this bantamweight division, man.
I was thinking too um with Ray Longo and Matt Serra not being there, I thought that might kind of hurt him a little bit. Like that might kind of even out the nerves with Corey.
Hmm.
But Sterling just there was Corey did not win a second of that fight.
But that just proves how crazy this division is, dude.
Yeah, and I thought like my uncle is kind of like out of the loop with UFC a little bit, but he knew who Cody was because of like when he was on top. Then he was kind of watching, uh,
Uh-huh.
and like everyone was saying like, oh, like Cody's probably gonna win this. I was like, like he's gotten slept his last 3 fights, and then 459 second round, good night. Like, oh my god.
Bro, it looked like a cartoon, dog. You know what I mean? Like he just like it looked like Dragon Ball Z. Like he just loaded up his punch and just said, "Bam!" and just struck him, man. And everyone
That's
was like, "Oh!"
that's how everyone knocks him out though. When he starts doing that, like he gets into that kind of exchange where you rear back really hard and then you come up. TJ knocked
hmm
him out like that twice, and Pedro knocked him out like that once in their last fight. They get into that weird just rear back and just let it go, and then Cody gets slept. But Rafael just didn't see it. And I like at first I kind of thought he hit him after the bell. I was like, oh, that's gonna be terrible. But he
hmm
hit him directly with 1 second left. Like he hit him, then he fell, then the bell rang. Like it was perfect.
And who was ref? It wasn't oh, what's his name?
I think it was Keith Peterson.
Yeah, I thought he did brilliant there because like he stopped it and he was
He
like, "Oh shit, he's down."
Yeah, he waited a second like to see if he was gonna get up, and then he was like, oh yeah, no, he's out.
And I don't know that you got O'Malley, you got Aljamain, Cody. I mean, I think Corey Sandhagen's gonna come back just fine. Like, what's next for that bantamweight division, man?
Um, for Sean, I don't really know. They got Cruz at 11. Wow. Um,
Do you think he fights Dominic Cruz?
I don't think so yet. I could see him getting like 15, 14. I'd like to see him fight John Dodson. I'm kind of sick of John Dodson.
I think that's a good fight.
But if he fought like Song Yadong, Marlon Vera, that could be cool. I could see Marlon Vera pretty well.
Yeah, I don't really see him fighting Sonya John because he's still a young guy too. So
Yeah, I think if he fought Vera, that could be cool. And Vera's not like O'Malley said he wants a main event. I don't think Vera versus O'Malley is a main event. You could maybe do co-main on a bad card, like on a card that's not that big. Um, but yeah, I definitely see him doing top 15 next.
I was reading actually a lot of people and they were going for Cody versus Sean, and I was like,
I saw that too. Cody wants the belt. It's like, dude, you've gotten knocked out your past 3 fights. But yeah, I don't. I mean, that could be interesting. I just like Cody definitely looked more technical than usual.
mm-hmm.
Kind of had that
He
kind of
looked good.
switch.
He looked
Yeah. Where he had that kind of switch, like how Gaethje used to fight, where he's just reckless, and then now he's more technical. He kind of had that same kind of switch, and he changed camps too. Like, I mean, he didn't completely leave his camp, but
Team Alpha, yeah.
yeah, he kind of switched back and forth. So I'm sure his coaches were telling him like, you got to chill out. Like, you can't get into that just brawl. Like, I want to kill this guy. You got to be technical with it, and it worked, obviously. Um, but yeah, I think the Sean's striking is so technical and so just good. Like he's got so many tools. I I wouldn't favor Cody in that fight. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Cody would win that fight, but I don't think they'll do the matchup right now.
I honestly, I can see Cody fight. If I see Cody fight someone, I can see him fight Corey, man.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, when you look at the top, yeah, that's well, because Pedro knocked him out. All those getting the shot. Jimmy Rivera, meh. But yeah, Corey would make a lot of sense. He just
And
beat Raphael. Sterling just fought. They won't do Corey versus, or they won't do Aljamain versus Cody. Um, but yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Cody versus Corey.
um, Yeah, looking at the rankings, man, I think that's what's next for Cody, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, 'cause Pedro's fighting Frankie, so it's either Jimmy Rivera or Corey Sandhagen.
Unless they freaking boost Sean all the way up to.
That or if they let Cody Stamann go up, but I think Cody wants to fight like right now.
Yeah, that's another Cody. Stamen, man. Like that division is so stacked.
Yeah, it's the UFC is just it's booming right now. It's so good. And then we finally had DC and Stipe going back, so that looks like it's gonna happen soon.
You think it's gonna be DC? Because I saw Ngannou say something.
Well, no, he was saying like stop stalling. Like it's been almost a year.
Oh,
Like get over it. Like let's go. Like let's get it moving. Because Ngannou's like I'm gonna sleep everyone here. Like let's go. So yeah, the main event: Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer. It was one of the most one-sided fights I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, oh man, she just dominated, dude.
Yeah, that guy that put $1 million on Amanda. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing, dude?
Like the chances of that, like I was just watching DC and Ariel, and like that was the most sure bet. Like if you were gonna put $1 million on a fight, that's probably the fight you want to do it on.
Hmm.
But even then, like there was a guy that put $40,000 on Mike Tyson to beat Buster Douglas. And even that, I was like, no, like don't do that. Like you can't risk and he won $166,000. Like, is it worth losing $1 million?
Exactly.
Like if for some reason Felicia would have caught her with something or got her in a submission, or if something was wrong with Amanda and like lost a decision, like is it worth losing $1 million just to win 166,000? Like,
I can't.
uh,
Oh, people are dumb, dude.
and Amanda was a 3,000 favorite, like live betting. By the third
I
or
saw
fourth
that.
round, she was a 3,000 favorite.
I was actually shocked that she didn't finish the fight.
She kind of let up in the fifth. You could kind of see it,
Mhm,
like
definitely.
that she wasn't really trying to just destroy it, because that like hematoma that Felicia had on her head, and I think Amanda was kind of like, yeah, I won this. Like there's no
I think
there's
Amanda
no
was
reason to.
entering the cage.
Oh yeah, that grin that she had the whole. I was pointing it out the whole fight. I was like, that's sick. Like she's just looking at you
Exactly.
like I could absolutely end your life right now, but I'm just not going to.
I thought it was I thought it was real nice of her. She gave her the title.
It was hard to watch. You could see Felicia kind of like on the verge of tears, like getting to hold it and just talking to Amanda, like knowing like what could have been, you know.
And I also think she's like, yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be stopping this badass woman anytime soon.
No, but Felicia is a warrior though. Like, oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
god.
she she's got a good chin, man.
To take those shots from Amanda and Cyborg, like she's unreal. She's
I
not at
mean,
that level fighting, like technically wise, but to hang with them, to take them both to decision, like easily, like again from DC and Ariel, they were talking about like the pound for pound, like it's Amanda, like Cyborg, Valentina, and Wei Lee. To take the punishment from the top, like two of the top three fighters in the world at women, like featherweight, bantamweight, whatever, to take that many shots from them and be fine, like it's unreal.
did you see that Amanda said she's gonna take some time off because she's having her kid soon? I think three
Yeah,
months. She said.
there's nothing left for her to do. You
Do you
beat
think we'll
everyone.
Do you think we'll see her next year?
Next year, probably, yeah. Like Ariel was saying, Irene Aldana, or Megan Anderson, but still, like, why? They're not going to beat her. Like Joe Rogan was saying, Clarissa Shields, get your takedown defense up. It's the only way. Like, but Amanda, again, it would be the same thing as when Amanda fought Jermaine. You can wrestle all you want. When you fight, you have to be doing it your whole life.
I agree.
Like Amanda said, like she gave her 6 years to train, and still couldn't do anything.
It's
Like
insane, dude.
Clarissa's probably been training MMA for less than a year, and she's like saying, "Oh yeah, I want to do the move to MMA."
Do you see her maybe fighting Valentina for a third time?
I want her to, but Dana said no. Dana
Yeah.
said they already fought twice. Amanda won twice, and they want I think Weili to win one more or two more, and then they want to do Weili versus Valentina.
That's gonna be a good fight, dude. Weili versus Valentina.
I don't know. It just depends. Like yeah, the weight cut will be less on Weili because they'll do it at 25 because there's no way Valentina's going to 115.
Yeah.
But Valentina is a monster, and for some reason they have Weili ahead of Valentina in the the pound for pound rankings. Get that out of here.
I
Valentina
agree.
is one of the best fighters in the world. Like men, women, period. She's one of the best fighters in the world.
I
Just
mean,
it's crazy how the rankings work, and but yeah, I don't really see Weili winning that fight. Weili's more power explosion. I want to see Weili fight Joanna again. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. Well, obviously that fight, but like, we're gonna be so like, oh, that last fight between those two are gonna. That was great. One of the greatest women fights of all time, and it could be such a letdown. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
happened.
it happened like with Mark Hunt and Bigfoot Silva. That was like one of the top fights of all time, and then the second one, Mark just like slept him right away. So that was kind
Mhm.
of like a letdown. But um, yeah, it happens. But like even when I think they do Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner again, and then it wasn't like nearly as good of a fight.
Did they? I don't remember that. They might have.
I think they did it the second time, and it wasn't like obviously that's the fight that put the UFC on the map, like
Mhm.
big time wise. But yeah, there's certain fights like, but you never know. They're both, it's not like you're gonna get like an Ngannou Lewis type thing out of it. They're gonna fight each other.
That's true.
Like it might not be as exciting, and Joanna's forehead might not swell up like a watermelon, but you're gonna get a good fight still. And it's just I don't know. There's not really other than Tatiana Suarez, which they just keep denying. I don't know why. There's not really anyone else. Again, like Valentina's gonna get, if not already, she's gonna get to that point where she has nothing left to prove. She never beat Amanda if they never do the third fight, but that'll be the one thing in her career. Like, yeah, I couldn't get that, but I did everything else. Like DC, same thing. He's beaten everyone else, couldn't beat John Jones.
Mhm.
And it'll be another thing too if Stipe beats him again if they do that fight. He beat Stipe once and he couldn't do it again.
Mhm.
But he's done everything else. He's beaten the best guys in the world at every other division that he's been in, every fight that he's been in. It's just world beaters like that.
I'm looking at the heavyweight division, man. Man, you're gonna be mad at this.
But
Blagoy Ivanov is still in the top 15.
what is he 15?
Yeah.
There's nobody else though. Like think of the heavyweight division.
How is Verdum at 14?
Again, there's nobody. Like it's just because of his name. Like just because he's been in the sport for so long, and he beat Fedor, and he's beaten the top guys, and he was the heavyweight champ at one point.
he
Just
moves.
like Andre if he's not ranked still, Andre Arlovsky was still in the rankings, like not too long ago.
They moved Sakai at 10, and they put Alexei Oleinik at 11.
No, no, get no.
I'm looking at it right now, man. It's so stupid. Like, Oleinik will destroy that dude.
But I mean, I think Blagoy was up there though, wasn't he? I think Blagoy was like 8 or 9 going into that fight with Sakai.
I thought he was 11.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he was, but he was up there though. But yeah, heavyweight is so bad. Other than probably the top 5 or so. It's bad.
I mean, you got Ngannou at 2, DC 1, Blades is at 3, Lewis 4, JDS at 5, and
Yeah, Rosenstruck's at 6. He's not going to beat Ngannou. Volkov's not going to beat Ngannou. Overeem's not going to beat Ngannou. And you got Walt Harris at 9, who couldn't beat Overeem. It's terrible. The top 5, really the top 3, because Lewis isn't going to beat Blades. He's not going to beat Ngannou, really, even though he already did. But that was a terrible fight. But it's Cormier, Ngannou, Blades, and that's about it.
It's that in the light heavyweight division, man. It's bland. You know what I mean? And now you got to think Alexander Gustafsson's going to be.
That's going to be interesting. A good technical striker in the heavyweight division is going to be very interesting.
And I think that will kind of boost that division just a tad bit. I definitely see him beating Verdum. I mean, hopefully.
It could kind of show, too, what John Jones could do at heavyweight. In a weird way.
That's true.
It could kind of show, like, what a technical striker can do at heavyweight against big guys. Like, obviously, John's beaten Gus twice. But if Gus goes in there and destroys Verdum and then comes back and, you know, say he fights Junior or say he fights Overeem and beats, like, a good striker like that, it could show Jones, like, yeah, you beat him. So why don't you go in there and have John Jones fight Curtis Blades and see what's up?
But, I mean, maybe – but it also could be like, yo, Gustafsson's just that good. And, I mean, obviously Jones is better. He beat him twice. But changing division for one fighter could be a mistake for the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Gus cut all that much to make 205. So
that's true.
It probably wouldn't be that much of a difference. Like, yeah, it might help a little bit and it'll add more power, but I don't think it'll make a ginormous difference. Like,
but John,
where it's like, oh, he's going to destroy John now. Whereas DC versus John at heavyweight could be dangerous.
I mean, that's just kind of like Anderson Silva all those years when he was fighting at 185 and he went to 20. Did he fight? He fought Forrest at 205, right?
Yeah, and absolutely mauled him. Like, made him look like he didn't belong in the UFC.
That was so bad, dude. I think that was just right after his loss against Rampage.
Yeah, but then you got to think though, Anderson wouldn't. I don't think he would have beaten Jones at light heavy though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially back then, how Jones was. Like, if you got prime Anderson Silva beating like Forrest Griffin, Chris Lieben level Anderson Silva against John Jones now, like how John fights now, that could be very interesting because John just fights safe and kind of, he's not really trying to stop guys anymore. It's kind of just, I'll beat you by decision. I'm going to outpoint you. I'm going to outfight you, stuff like that.
Well, he fights at their strengths, and he was like, I'm going to beat you at your own game.
But he's not how he used to be where he was putting Shogun away, where he put Lyoto away.
That Lyoto choke's like my favorite, man. Because when he lets go, you just, like, Machida's body falls down like it's jello, man. Yeah,
where he beat, like, Ryan Bader, stuff like that. And Bader said, we were talking about that before. Bader said he wants him. It's like, you will lose your belt, both of your belts, before you can say John Jones' name. Like, stop it. But anyway.
Hey, what's your take on the contracts situations?
I've been saying it, the last one, and I think the one before too. It's, you got to understand. Yeah, you want more money. Jorge wants to support his family, but you got to understand they're not having gates. No one's going to the fights. They're having to pay guys still. Like, they released the payouts. Like, Amanda did pretty good. Like everyone, there's a lot of people that did good. I think Chase Hooper was the least, and he got like $27,000. But you gotta realize they're not having gates. The pay-per-views are iffy, especially when you have Amanda as the main event, and casual fans think, oh, it's a woman main event. Why the hell am I going to pay $65 to watch that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like when you have Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje in the main event, and you do over 700,000 buys. I'm interested to see what they did on Saturday for buys. But yeah, you can't ask for $30 million to fight Francis Ngannou when they're not making that much. And how John's been saying, I don't give a F about like your company or whatever. Like how Dana said, like, okay, like all you journalist people go back to your like publisher and say, I don't give an F what this company makes. I'm going to make $30 million for this story or whatever, and see how that works out for you. You're going to get fired every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, you can't expect to make that big of money when you don't sell for one. And when there's no gate, and they're doing the whole Fight Island thing, and they're having to pay everyone and all the testing, like Dana said, it's so expensive to do all the
Daily
safety
test.
measures, all the
Daily
safety
test.
measures that they're doing. Yeah.
Do you think that's a reason why we saw Conor retire on Saturday, and we'll get going into the situation with Conor?
Yeah, he said the game doesn't excite him. I don't know how. I think that's the top 3 guys will probably beat me, and I don't want that for my career type of thing. Because I don't think he beats Gaethje. He does not beat Khabib. And I think Tony would be an interesting fight. He came in, beat Donald, got a ton of money for that. Kind of a sure, kind of tune-up type of fight for him. And now he was probably planning on Tony winning against Gaethje, and hoping that Tony and Khabib will fight, and that fight will fail again for the 6th time somehow, and then he'll get the step in, or somebody will get hurt and he'll get the step in. But now you can't deny Gaethje. There's nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Poirier lost, Tony lost. That's it. It's Gaethje and Khabib. That's all you can do. And I don't think Conor wants to risk his kind of legacy, I guess, like that. Because if he gets knocked out, that's it. He's already tapped twice. He got stopped by Floyd, and he got stopped by Diaz, and he got stopped by Khabib. If Gaethje knocks him out, or if Khabib taps him again, that hurts him.
And did you see Floyd's tweet out to him?
That's a money grab. That's not a pride thing. That's not like, oh, I want to fight you so bad. I want another $100 million to fight a bogus fight. Floyd's 40-something years old. Conor's, 31?
It's somewhere around there.
Yeah. You don't want that fight.
And I also just think, since the whole money issues and the top fighters coming out with complaints with the contracts, I think this is Conor's like saying, oh, well, wow, they must be in some type of having some type of money issue. I don't really want to fight if I can't get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big name. If they're not going to do that with me, like if they're not going to give me some money, then we'll just end it.
Yeah, and he knows too. Yeah, the pay-per-views would be huge. Conor McGregor on Fight Island would be ginormous, no matter who he fights. If he fights Masvidal, he fights Diaz, he fights Gaethje, Tony, Khabib, whoever, it would be huge, whoever he fought. But they're not getting the gate, so he's not going to make that much off of that. All he would do is the endorsements and the pay-per-view points, and then his normal salary, because he fights on just one fight contracts. So
because he gets like $15 million.
Yeah, but he sells. He's the one guy that sells. It's different. Masvidal would sell, but he's probably asking for a ridiculous amount, and Usman does not sell. You need 2 guys. How they did Diaz versus Masvidal. They marketed it. Diaz is a huge name. Masvidal is coming off 2 huge knockout wins. They put the BMF title on it. Hey, The Rock is going to be here. He's going to bring the belt out. He's going to put it on the winner. It's huge.
And Khabib and Conor.
Yeah. Khabib is a huge name. He's one of the best fighters in the world. And he's been talking to Conor all this time, and Conor blows it up, gets Khabib mad, and it becomes a thing with the whole bus story where he throws the dolly through the bus. It's big. It sells, but
And
you're not gonna sell Masvidal versus Usman just as a welterweight title fight for whatever Masvidal wants, 15 million, 20 million, whatever.
and if Khabib and Conor ever fight again, I I honestly don't think Conor is retiring. I think he's probably gonna wait till people start going back into the arenas and stuff like that
Well, yeah, that's the third. It's the third time he's retired.
in 4 years.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's a money
Um,
grab.
b- but I don't even remember where I was at.
But yeah, it's just Connor. He does it, especially now when he realizes he's not going to make that much money. He's doing good with the proper 12 stuff, and it's just he doesn't need to fight anymore.
He
Like
really doesn't though.
like
And if you,
financially wise, legacy wise, he hasn't beaten Khabib. He didn't beat Gaethje. I don't think he beat Diaz.
oh, I don't think he beat Diaz either.
Like it's just he has more to fight for to prove his legacy wise. Yeah, he was the double champ, all that, but he never defended it. When he fought Khabib and everything, he loses.
Oh, that's why I remember where I was going. All right, so you remember when at the events that happened after the Khabib fight, and you know how the UFC was like, "Oh, we don't condone this stuff." You know damn well if they fought again, they're gonna market the hell out of that, and they're
Well,
gonna be
yeah,
like,
it's part of the story.
"This is what happened," and this and that.
Yeah, they got in trouble. Like there was a lot of backlash for that when they fought the first time, like when they were using like the dolly through the thing and everyone
You,
freaking out and everything. It's Dana said it's part of the story. You can't just not use it. It happened. It's part of the build up to the fight.
and he like didn't Glasgow to like near Michael Chiesa's side.
Yeah, cut his face. I think it went into his eye. He had to get pulled out of that fight, I think. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, he got messed up. Rose got messed up. There's a lot of guys that got cut and got like Rose just didn't feel safe anymore.
but
It sucks like when that stuff happens. But yeah, it's part of the story. It's part of the build up, and it's Conor McGregor. If John Jones did something like that, then it would be a whole nother thing because of his history and everything. But depends on the person. Nick Diaz got to spend 5 years for smoking weed. It,
it's so stupid.
it just depends on the person. Um, but yeah, so moving on to the other sports, MLB kind of tried a shorter season, 76 game season.
Yeah, I saw they did that on like I saw that on Bleacher Report, and I don't know why. What's my take on it, man? Because it just seems like it's a whole different. Like every day, it's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, what is the NBA doing? How many games are they doing again? I forget.
8 games and then the playoffs.
Yeah, so they kind of like for the MLB to want to do over 100 games compared to the NBA. Yeah, I understand. Like they wanted to do almost like a full season in the MLB, which is risky with all the stuff going on and going into October, November, like how they would have to if they did something like that, where they think coronavirus might come back, like
Hmm.
another round of it. It could be dangerous, but yeah, 76 games if you do. If you do a couple double headers every once in a while and get it over, try to get it over with as quickly as possible and then run the playoffs and everything. Maybe.
No, they said they would have a 75% prorated salary. Regular season would end on September 27th, and postseason runs until the end of October.
Yeah. So, if we don't get another round of coronavirus and if nothing bad happens with a bunch of, because I know there's been, I think, Oklahoma State, Alabama, and was it Clemson was the other school that a couple of guys got it?
I didn't hear about those.
Yeah, I know Alabama got it. I think Oklahoma State's in the news for a bunch of stuff. They just got like banned from the playoffs for their basketball and stuff.
Yeah, because
Um,
they hired like I think they did something with like basically prostitution pretty much
yeah, it's
for
just that whole recruiting thing that's just. But um, but yeah, the MLB. Hopefully that gets approved. It might not. Their board kind of seems more strict than the NBA and
NFL.
things like that. Yeah. Um, NFL players coming back soon. I think I saw something today. College players were going back, so
Hmm.
it's going to be another interesting thing. The NFL is still they're planning on like just there's nothing that's really changed with their season yet.
Not yet, man, but they said it's because I saw coaches return last week.
Yeah, I think like the last time we did the show, I think they were returning like that day.
And then players NFL rules for players to return 6 feet between players in locker rooms, mask worn at all times, and a bunch of other rules. I mean, NFL's even though their season hasn't started, man. Just like how NBA is, and you said with MLB is more stricter. With the NFL and NBA, I feel uh like they're not as strict like you said with how MLB is, and they want to get things on the roll, and NFL hasn't even started yet, and they already have a plan set out, so it's looking good, dude.
Yeah, they won't have a problem with their viewers either. They like I said last time, they literally own a day of the week. Like it's
Maybe
just
even 2 days. I sometimes consider Monday Night Football. You know what I mean?
yeah, Sunday all day, Monday
Mm.
night, Thursday night. So they won't really, especially if college comes back Saturday, that's going to be huge. Live sports are going to be ginormous when everything starts to come back again. But yeah, it'll be huge for them. And like I was seeing a couple weeks ago, Steelers are selling half of their tickets, like preparing for social distancing, but still having fans there.
I think that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, with how big, like UFC, yeah, like I get it. You're literally like an inch away from the next person next to you. But NFL, if you sell half your tickets and spread everyone out, you can fit like Michigan Stadium. Obviously, it's the biggest. You can fit over 100,000 people in Michigan Stadium,
Hmm.
and there's like Cowboy Stadium. You can fit. I don't even know how many people. Not 100,000, but you can fit a lot of people in these stadiums, and there's plenty of room for, to separate people, whether it's a couple seats apart or whatever. Probably no concessions or anything, I would imagine, because that's. But
I saw that I'm reading right now. They said the league will also be splitting team personnel into 3 tiers, so it's varying levels of access to restricted areas. So tier one's the player, coaches, team physicians, athletic trainers, stuff like that. Tier two, the club, facility staff, additional coaches and strength and conditioning coaches, and other like basically assistant trainers and stuff. And the tier three is operational personnel and house media, stadium security personnel. So I mean that just kind of proved that they have a plan situated and they have a plan ready to go if once they start their season. And I mean, it sucks for MLB because they were starting their season out and all this happened with COVID-19. So like leagues like NFL, they had they haven't even started yet, and I mean they had more time to put up a whole solution of how we're gonna start our season out. And I mean, with basketball, they were in their regular season, and I feel like they've been one of the best sports leagues to handle this whole situation. So with MLB, I don't know what is going on. I mean, you have German soccer leagues starting their season. You have other soccer leagues starting their season. I mean, yeah, paying the players is, is a bad situation from that stance, but I mean, let's get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Like it's almost August pretty much, and you guys still haven't got your. You know what I'm saying? Like that's August. That around that time is when things start getting. All right, this is playoff baseball. You know what I mean? The teams and now. We still haven't got. It's June, almost. It's mid-June, I would say, and we still haven't got anything. So
Yeah, it's going to be another thing with the contracts too, like the MLB, like with their salaries being changed, and like we noted here with Dak, should he get the 5-year, $175 million deal? I say absolutely not. Um,
I agree.
like I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to make that much of a fuss about it, but if nothing changed, he was going to have a record-breaking contract easily.
Well,
If they're still not going to do it, but he was going to probably be the highest paid player in NFL history.
I feel like with Dak, the Dak situation, um, he declined the four. I think he did decline the 4 year because he wants that 5th-year option.
Yeah,
But I don't know. This Dak's gonna have a big year this year, and because look at the offensive weapons around him. He's got probably one of the best offensive lines in football. Probably got one of the best running backs in football, and then you have Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Like CeeDee Lamb was a hell of a receiver in college.
yeah. It's just he's got to prove himself for sure. It's been on and off. Like he's not worth what he wants, but you got to
Oh,
prove yourself. Like how Mahomes like. I haven't really even seen him saying, "Oh, I want this much. I want this much." Like he proved it. He got the starting job. Nearly took them to the Super Bowl in his first year, and then he goes on and throws like when he threw 50 touchdowns his first year,
and
and
he won
then
the MVP his
yeah,
first year.
and then
That is
last year
first
he goes
full
and
year.
wins. Yeah, last year he goes and wins the Super Bowl. Like
Hmm
it's insane. He proved himself,
And
and like
and they're favorites to win it this year too, man.
yeah, and they don't like yeah they have a lot of weapons, but they don't have Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. You don't have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper.
You
And
have Tyreek
you got
and Travis
Tyreek
Kelce.
Hill, Travis Kelsey, Demarcus Robinson, stuff like that. But you don't have that good of an old line. And
Mhm.
their defense is probably better than Dallas. But
No, I wouldn't say
like
that.
their
They're deep.
weapons wise, like because you got like Teron Matthew and stuff like that. But like their Dallas's D line and everything is strong still. But
Dallas has a
the
really
offense
good
is
linebacker core.
yeah,
Dallas' defense is actually really solid, dude. Besides their, I'd say cornerbacks, because they just lost Byron Jones.
yeah, just like weapons wise, like uh Kansas City has a lot. But yeah, like the linebackers at Dallas are really good. But Kansas City's just been able to put it together. Like their defense just does enough to where the offense has time to just do what they do. And
Uh,
Dallas is like, you know,
I would say this year Kansas City's defense improved from the season before when they met the Patriots in the AFC Championship. But their defense is still obviously their weak link of the team.
oh yeah, like when you have that good of an offense, when you got Patrick Mahomes back there just alone, like even if he had, if he had the same problems that like Brady had with like not that good of receivers, I think he would still be very good.
And you gotta think like if the Chiefs didn't have Patrick Mahomes, they had Matt Moore, and they were struggling. But I would say if Dak went down with an injury, you got Andy Dalton in the back as a backup, and that's not a bad backup, especially with that offense that you have. Um, and it helps having probably I would say Ezekiel Elliott's probably number 2 or number 3 as running best running backs in the league. So I think Christian McCaffrey's the best running back in the league, but that's just my opinion. But with Zeke, he's probably he's their number 1 option, obviously. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's number 2 or 3 in the league. So, and I can't even tell you the Chiefs running back, Damian Williams, and they just drafted that running back from LSU. And I think he's actually going to do good for the Chiefs because he's a small back, kind of reminds me of like a Tariq Cohen type running back who can receive the ball from the backfield, and that's how the Chiefs will play it. That's a safe option, especially for a guy like Patrick Mahomes when you have Tyreek that's, let's say, double coverage, or Kelsey, and you see can't think of the guy's name. It's like Hilaire or something like that, and you see him open in that backfield, just give him a little quick pass, and he's a small guy, so he'll break the tackles from the DBs. But another thing I saw today is, should Miami be playing Tua if he's healthy for the first game? And as a Dolphins fan, I say no, because we know his health history. I mean, he's going to be good if he learns. I still think he needs to learn the NFL offense. You see a lot of teams breaking into college offenses and stuff like that, and that does benefit young quarterbacks. And I still think Tua needs to learn. We know the history of Alabama quarterbacks. They don't really make it in the NFL. So I don't know. I'm excited for it because Tua is a different breed of quarterbacks. I think he would have been number one this year if he was healthy. Burrow had an amazing season last year, and I think he's going to do solid as a rookie. But I think Tua is going to sit and learn. Fitzpatrick's not a bad quarterback. And you also have Josh Rosen, and I think Rosen's going to get the chance if Fitzpatrick gets hurt. I know you're not a fan of Rosen, but I truly think he'll get a chance before Tua this season at least. Just Tua needs to heal up, and I don't know how healthy that is. It could be I don't know how healthy he is. It could be a smokescreen, and time will tell. We'll see during training camp. What's your opinion on it?
I think sitting a year would be good, or even kind of waiting a little bit. Like you start Ryan Fitzpatrick, have Tua learn under him, and then see like how they kind of did. I'm completely drawing a blank on the quarterback situation I had in my mind. But
Patrick Mahomes. That's what this kind of reminds me of.
Like Alex Smith, Mahomes type thing, like where you see what's what, like with the guys. And if they think Tua's going to do better, and if he's healthy, then yeah, throw him out there. But for him to just start just because you think he's good coming out of college, it could be another Trubisky like situation, or it could be another Josh Rosen situation.
Josh Rosen.
Like Sam Darnold, like those other guys that were supposed to be destroyers coming out of college, which I still, the whole Bears Trubisky thing still baffles me. But yeah, I don't think Josh should go before Tua. Like if they were going to do strings like in their depth chart, I think it should be Fitzpatrick, then Tua, then Josh. But that's just my opinion on Josh. I don't like him as a quarterback at all.
Well, with Josh, he never really got the chance in Arizona. They had a really bad offensive line. Fitzgerald's still playing, but that was their best receiver. Maybe Christian Kirk, but he just didn't have nothing there. David Johnson was hurt, so he didn't have that star running back to help him out in the backfield. It's going to be different, because Arizona Cardinals now with Kyler Murray, and you got probably the best receiver in football with DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitz still, and Christian Kirk. And I felt bad for Rosen's situation, and I do think Tua's still hurt, and I think it is a smokescreen. And I think Rosen does get the second string job. Who knows what happens during training camp? Maybe Tua just busts his ass and goes off, and he very well could. Miami situation right now, they're young. They got a young coach of Brian Flores, who I think I could be one of the good coaches in the future for Miami. I mean, he took that. What I was expecting Miami to not win a damn game last year, and they won 5, and they ended their season They were the start of ending the New England Patriots dynasty. I don't think New England's going to do anything this year. I remember in Brian's class where he said, I think the Patriots get Trevor Lawrence. I truly think Patriots will be going after Trevor Lawrence next season.
Yeah, it depends on who they get at quarterback. If they stick with that Stidham dude, or if they get Cam Newton somehow, then maybe they, because if you give Cam Newton Julian Edelman, like something's gonna happen there.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't. With Stidham there, we don't know how good he is, and then what Belichick's planning on doing. Belichick might say like, "Oh no, Stidham's a dude," and then they suck all year, and then they get Lawrence next year, and
And there's also that kid from North Dakota State, dude. He's actually, you know what I'm talking about.
Trey Lance, is that his name?
I think so. And who knows? Maybe if Western plays this season, we'll see him play. We'll see. He's projected top 5.
Yeah, he ran all over. I think when they played North Dakota State, I don't think Western really touched him.
Oh, they're a tough team to play, anyways. But AFC East is so open next season. Well, we'll be open next season. I truly think the Bills will win it, unless Josh Allen goes down. That's their only way the Bills not win it, in my opinion. The Dolphins are young. They definitely upgraded during this NFL draft and got some big free agents. I think for Miami as a fan, we got Jordan Howard, Matt Breida. I think Jordan Howard's going to have an insane year. He's been hurt, and he's still only 25 years old, 25, 26 years old. He's still young, and he was the man in Chicago before Tariq Cohen came. And I don't know. I have faith in Howard. If he doesn't do so hot, then we'll obviously draft the running back next season. You got to think Miami still has 2 first-rounders, and Texans are one bad hit away from being a top 5 pick next season to Deshaun Watson. I'm saying if one bad hit to Deshaun Watson, they could potentially be a top 5 pick. And because I couldn't tell you their backup, Matt Schaub. I don't really know.
No, Schaub is in Atlanta, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so. But was it Savage? Tom Savage?
Yeah, something like that. It might be.
But that's not going to win you any games. And they Texans are in probably one of the toughest divisions in the AFC. You got the Colts, and I think Colts are going to win that division next year.
Yeah, I just got the stats. Trey Lance had 313 yards and 2 touchdowns against Western, and he didn't even finish the game.
Exactly.
He went 17 for 22 and didn't even finish.
Belichick likes those just guys you never heard of, and they go off like Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's another NDSU is like, cause we got Carson Wentz coming out of there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just like a sleeper school for quarterbacks in the past, couple of years. Because Trey is going to be, if he gets into the league and if he learns under the right person, he could be a problem.
But a lot of football stuff that's happening. I wish baseball would happen.
Yeah, as we get closer to football, I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about what they're going to do with their salaries and their fans, and how everything is going to go with that. And then hopefully we get a decision on MLB pretty soon. Is there anything else you got?
No, man.
All right, let's wrap it up. So that just about wraps things up for us here today. Be sure to follow us on social media at NN Experience for news about the world of sports and news about our next show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Nick and Nolan Experience.